everyone, welcome back to Williamson Ridge Outdoors. Today we're going to be looking at our Stihl MS500i again, and really just sawing some logs. I've got some logs laying here that I need to saw into firewood length to get them ready for our EastonMade 916 and our STK24 conveyor. As I said in the previous video, I've actually been under the weather for the last several weeks, so I haven't really got a chance to make too many videos and stuff. So hopefully I am getting over whatever it was that I had, kind of get back out here and get into my firewood, really put our chainsaws to work, especially our new MS500i. That's been a long awaited saw. I've been watching that thing ever since it come out, like over in Switzerland or somewhere, and it's been overseas for a long time, and it's finally come to the States, and I was finally able to get my hands on one. Plus, we're going to get to put our EastonMade STK24 24-foot conveyor to good use. I've actually been doing some with it, just here and there, whenever I've kind of had a spurt that I felt halfway decent for a little bit, then I would come out here and split wood for 30 minutes or something. I haven't really got to do much video and stuff on it, but that should hopefully change, because I should be, or I feel like I'm getting over my issues. So hopefully that's behind me and all this other stuff will be ahead of me. I'm looking forward to really stacking up the firewood with this conveyor and all the options and stuff that I have with it, to be able to do different things with it, whether it's load a truck, load a trailer, use it to get my firewood stockpile just really piled up. I'm looking so forward to doing that. The only thing that this thing doesn't do for you is actually stack it, but that's okay. What I want to do is split all the wood up and have it piled up, and then I'll take it out to my shed, like in bucket loads with the tractor or something, and then stack it under my shed for what I'm going to use myself. The other stuff will be just sitting here, kind of like leftover stockpile for next year, or stuff that I want to sell. So for this year, I've sold all that I want to sell, and all I'm going to do is just stockpile pretty much all the rest of this year. So anyways, first thing we got to do though, we got to jump in here. I'm going to saw these logs up that I've got laying here. We're going to use our Stihl MS500i, but it's almost dark. We're not going to get to actually run the splitter and the conveyor today. Hopefully we'll be able to do that one evening after work. Seems like that I'm always right at the edge of dark trying to get into doing this stuff. But you got to do what you got to do, get what you can get done while it's daylight, and sometimes that's not very much time. So we're using our MINGO marker to mark out our wood. I've had this thing now for a couple years. So far so good. It's still holding together. The little hanging tab here, it actually had a little tab here where you can hang this thing up on the wall, but it is broke off. But other than that, everything else seems to be good to go. I am using an 18-inch wheel on this, which you do have to buy separate. I think it comes factory with a 16, and maybe you can get it optional, like with different wheels or whatever. I can't really remember. But this is what I use to mark my firewood. It makes it 18 inches every time. I really like using this myself, just because I like having a mark there to put my bar on and hit that mark every time. And plus, all your firewood, after you split it, then if you go to stack it, then your stacks can be nice and even, and you don't have long pieces and short pieces just sticking out everywhere. So it makes for stacking a whole lot easier. If you'd be interested in getting one of these, I'll put a link in the description below where you can check that out. Like I say, it works good for me, may not for everyone. I like it really well, and it's lasted me for several years, and I use it pretty much every time I cut a tree down. I always use this thing to mark out my lengths. Well, I have to say that MS500i make short work of these logs. Now this isn't real hard wood. This is poplar that I'm cutting here. So, you know, I can't hardly wait to try it out in a big hunk of oak or something. If you've been following along with the channel, you know that I've been cutting some trees out that's kind of out in the edges of the yard, and they kind of overhang the yard, and it keeps the grass from growing on a pretty sloped section that I have in behind my house. So I'm wanting to get all that canopy and stuff kind of cut away so that the sunlight can get into the ground and I can sow some grass in there and it'll hold the hillside together. So I've been cutting around some of the trees that are kind of overhanging the yard. Poplar isn't the ideal firewood, but it'll work fine for me and my use for right now. So as you can see, we've got a whole bunch of rounds and stuff here. That saw made short work of all this stuff. You know, I can't tell you how happy I am actually with that purchase. It's a really expensive saw for just a homeowner type use, but I can see why it costs that much, because that saw is just refined. It runs really well. It's super smooth. It's easy to start. You don't have where you have to choke it. You have to pull it until it fires and then turn the choke off and then pull it some more. All you got to do is hit the decompression switch on it and pull the rope. A cold start today, it actually took me 3 pulls to get it started. And once it fired though, it just took off. I mean, it was just sitting there running just like it'd been running all day. It's just really cool. I love the electronic fuel injection part of it. So far there's no hassle or anything like that with it or trying to get it started. It's super easy to start. It runs once you get it started. Man, the throttle response, the smoothness, just the overall feel of the saw while you're using it, it's just refined. It definitely shows the refinement in the cost of it. It definitely makes you feel like you're getting what you pay for. With that being said though, stay tuned, because here in a day or two, we're gonna be running our EastonMade 916 along with our conveyor. We're gonna bust all this wood up and get it all piled up in our pile. Plus, stay tuned for more videos on the Stihl MS500i. And I'm gonna do some comparisons and stuff too with it between some other saws. So stay tuned for all that, and if you like videos like this, make sure to click that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and whenever you do, make sure to click that little bell icon so you'll get notifications whenever I upload new videos, and thanks for watching.